Theobroma cacao. Yum. Cacao tree. It's not doing too well, and the worst part is there are no pods in it at the moment, and none on the ground. But right next to it is another one of my favorites, Camellia sinensis, in the tea family. Green tea, and then fermented is black tea, and then I guess the little new bits are the white tea. There's a little waterfall in this lovely garden. And there's more road signs. Plant insect interactions, succulent plants, Chinese zodiac plants, guest house of imperial envoys, and information center. Right next to this really crazy ficus fistulosa. Look at that stuff growing out of everywhere. Cinnamomum camphorum. This is the cinnamon tree that the bark is typically used for cinnamon, or the outsides of the stems. There's plenty of videos on how that's harvested, but the leaves are very similar to regular camphor trees. Cinnamomum camphorum. So again, not too healthy. There's some bug holes and things, but I wonder if the leaves actually smell. Oh, they do. The leaves smell very cinnamony. Delicious. The systematic beds. In order to use plant resources efficiently, people name the plants to communicate and prevent misuse. However, as a result of cultural differences, different common names actually sometimes refer to the same species. Confusion of plant common names led to Swedish botanist Carl Linnaeus to develop a systematical naming protocol, which became foundation for the modern biological naming system of binomial nomenclature. The first part of the name identifies the genus to which the species belongs. The second part identifies the species within the genus. This garden is designed with the concept of the taxonomical system, dividing embryophytes into ferns, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Because angiosperms include complicated species, it can be further divided into dicotyledons and monocotyledons. In this area, common Taiwanese dicotyledons, mainly shrubs and herbs, are displayed according to the belonging groups, families. Hey, this is Damon, the global gardener at the Taipei Botanical Garden. We're looking at the Piperaceae bed, which are the pepper. Here, I'll show you how it's spelled, Piperaceae. And then the first one we're looking at here is the Piper nigrum, which is black pepper, which has various terpenoids and compounds that are known to be antimicrobial and has lots of antioxidants. That's the black pepper the table black pepper that you've probably eaten already today, and if not, have some. It's wonderful, helps digestion and lots of things. I wanted to show you, these aren't the healthiest specimens. We're here in the middle of January, but the leaves are thusly. They're all very similar, the Piper family, Piperaceae. This is the Piper nigrum, and they have a few different varieties here, so I wanted to show you the different ones because they're really quite fascinating and being studied for different things. This is easier just to pull the sign out of the dirt. Piper Filipinum, which is obviously from the Philippines, and they're studying it for 8 different compounds and terpenoids, and they're finding, 8 different compounds there. We'll move on to since we're in Taiwan, the Piper Taiwanense is here, sort of just brambling about, and it's being studied for 14 different compounds, alkaloids, terpenoids, and all kinds of different wonderful health benefits. So I'm trying to show you the leaves, if you haven't seen it, and then in heading to Vanuatu in a couple of weeks, and they are known for kava, which is getting caught on the stems down here. Piper meristicum is kava kava, if you've heard of that. It's got a mellowing effect. There's other vines brambling around with the piper. This is, I believe, is this the Taiwanense? And so there's a little quick tour of the pepper family vines. And now you know where black pepper comes from, and that there are other members in that family that also have very wonderful health properties. Here's a popular permaculture method. Forest gardening is an agroforestry system which is used as a method to secure food in prehistoric times in the tropics. People who lived in the mountains applied the slash and burn method while leaving useful orchard or shade trees intact, incorporated with tapioca millet fruit and nut trees such as avocado, papaya, cashew, breadfruit trees, as well as shrubs, herbs, vines, and perennial vegetables that were directly useful to humans. In addition, people also harvested vines, fungi, insects, and herbs from the forest. Many Aboriginal people in Taiwan, such as the Tao tribe on Orchid Island, used this method in order not to overexploit the land. Today, encountering food crisis caused by climate change, this method has been recognized to be applied in urban areas. There's their pictorial example. And a QR code if you want to try that. Here's inside the greenhouse with lots of carnivorous plants. Looks like they possibly ate the gardeners because it could use a little more maintenance, and it's currently locked. Greenhouses, they don't usually have a placard for greenhouses, but here we go. Greenhouses are the spirit of a good botanic garden. They were originally used in countries in temperate climates to house plants that explorers had collections from the tropics. Although the winter is not cold in Taiwan, in order to protect delicate plants from the harmful urban dirt, acid rain, boy, you don't hear about acid rain much anymore, and typhoons, as well as optimize the temperature and moisture conditions for cultivation, greenhouses are still necessary here. The main goal of managing greenhouses in subtropical Taiwan is to reduce heat, so a good ventilation system is the most important feature in Taiwan greenhouses. In addition, a robust structure that can withstand typhoons is also necessary. Now there are 3 greenhouses located in the taxonomic garden of the Botanical Garden. The center circular greenhouse, the hexagonal greenhouse, and the rectangular greenhouse. All 3 of these were established during the Japanese colonization period. The upper part of the structures and glass were severely damaged during World War II and were later refurbished in 1964. The main feature of the 3 greenhouses is the long ditches under the central planting beds that collect excessive irrigation water and reuses it to maintain the air moisture and provide a habitat for frogs which control insects. This is an ecological and efficient power resource design. And that's the Taipei Botanical Garden and the QR code if you want to find out more. Here's the pond near the central circular greenhouse. Here is the pond near the rectangular greenhouse. Apparently that is where the excess irrigation runoff goes to help control the moisture and temperature of the greenhouse. Here's a greenhouse they didn't mention in the series of them that are on the grounds of the Botanic Garden, but I don't know if you can see the roof is just sort of like corrugated plastic that's kind of bolted down to accommodate the shape, which is an odd shape. And we're in the succulent garden area. I don't know if this is open or not. No, that's locked. Most of the greenhouses are locked. And they have cactuses in here, cactuses, and plus a dracaena just sort of there in random order, but you can see some of the names are on the little windowsill garden, and it's a bit random. Oh, there's a succulent vine up hanging off the roof there. Peperonia. But that's about all we can get from this Even though it's a really groovy shaped greenhouse, it's fairly round. I don't know that there's any angular corners. And outside are more cacti and agave in this garden.